To know how to use the balance, we'll need the following materials. You'll need the balance, the weigh paper, and salt. Now to start, make sure the balance is level by checking whether the air bubble is centered. So on the balance, there is a part that can make sure the balance is actually leveled by looking at the bubble. If it's not leveled, it will be tilted and not centered. Now, if that is what you see, then make sure that you can turn the 4 screws right down here to actually level the balance. Move it up or down so then all 4 corners are leveled and you don't have some part that are not leveled. Once you're sure that the bubble is in the center, then you can place the container that you will be using to weigh out the reagent onto the balance. That container can either be the weigh paper, which we will be using today, or it can be a microcentrifuge tube in the future for measuring liquid, or a beaker. Okay, since we're starting with the weigh paper, here's a tip. Always fold the weigh paper, which makes it easier to dump the reagent once you're done weighing. Now place the container onto the balance, and then you're going to hit tare. Once you hit tare, it should read 0.00. This means the balance is not going to take into consideration the weight of the container, but only the reagent you're going to measure. Next, using a spatula, scoop up whatever reagent you're going to measure. In this case, for us, it will be NaCl, sodium chloride, which is table salt. And then take whatever amount you need. Now, make note that the unit on the balance is in grams. So right now I have measured out 0.08 grams. But for the exercise that you will be doing, you will need to weigh out 500 milligrams. So double check that you first convert that into grams before you actually measure it out. So how many grams is in 500 milligram? You can now go back and check your chart. Let's say you've finished measuring out exactly what you need. Pretend it is 0.08 you need. Then you can easily hold up this weigh paper and then transfer what you need like so into the container you need. And so now you see how folding it really helps. Okay, the last part is to make sure that you clean the balance by using the brush to brush off any chemical particles. In this case, that was pretty neat, and there weren't any residual chemical particles that I made. But let's just pretend you're kind of messy, and then you end up with some chemical particles all over the balance, okay? Always make sure that you bring over the brush and the dustpan, and then be able to brush off and clean your balance so the next person won't have a dirty balance to use. And once that's all cleaned up, then you can brush it into a dustpan. And then make sure you dump that into the trash can. Now, please work on the practice. As a pair, weigh out 500 milligrams of salt, but first figure out how many grams is that, and then weigh it out, and then make sure that you're able to get exactly the right amount.